This video will explore two different understandings of ethics, absolute ethics and relative ethics. The key questions that will be raised are: do moral rules really exist? Should moral rules ever be broken? Are there any actions which are always wrong? And is one culture's morality as good as another? Your thoughts on these questions will guide you towards answering another question: are all moral opinions equally valid, or are some moral opinions better than others? The idea of absolutism and relativism in ethics has to do with the idea of truth. Is there a true answer to any moral question? Or is the answer always dependent upon the particular circumstances? Can we ever be objective in our study of ethics? Or is morality always subjective? To say that some things are always right and some things always wrong, for all times and for all people, is called absolutism. An ethical absolute is a moral standard that is true in all times, places, and situations. Absolutism is the belief that there is an objective point of view in ethics, that actions are not right and wrong from one person's point of view, but because they just are. Therefore, there is a moral way to live and an immoral way to live. In absolutism, right and wrong cannot change. There are moral rules because some things are intrinsically right or wrong. If you believe absolutism to be ethically true, then what is wrong for you is wrong for every other person in the world. The opposite view, that what is right for one person or group may be wrong for another, is called relativism. In this understanding, there is no objective truth, and what is right or wrong depends upon the perspective of the individual. There is no objective knowledge of morality. What is morally true for you might not be morally true for me. We will explore the work of the key thinkers on your screen. Ancient Greek philosopher Plato was an ethical absolutist. He thought that goodness and justice are moral absolutes that exist in some ways beyond our perception of the world. These forms are fixed. They exist in another world, a world of forms and ideas, which are the true reality. What we see is merely a shadow of this truth. Pause this video and read or watch Plato's analogy of the cave. Back to this world of forms. Imagine you listen to a piece of music. Let's say you call that music beautiful. Can you now think of 5 other things that might also be called beautiful? Perhaps a painting or a relationship. Plato believes that all of these things that you call beautiful are representations of the objective form of beauty which exists in the world of forms. Without the form beauty in the world of forms, there would be no beauty in anything in this world. For Plato, the form of goodness is the highest of all the forms. Goodness is the highest form of reality. It's objective and absolute, beyond our limited world. We must escape from the mistake of believing that our perceptions of reality are the truth, according to Plato. Plato's pupil Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, is thought to be more relativistic than Plato. He did not believe in universal forms, but believed there are general rules, which we learn by experience. However, as the range of situations is infinite, no rule will apply to all. He believed we should seek a midway position between extremes. Therefore, we should not be rash or cowardly in our actions, but should choose a midway or courageous position. Modern anthropologists, people studying the ways of human life, have observed differences between cultures, and some argue that these differences mean there cannot be moral absolutes. Morality consists of socially approved habits, taught by the society in which one lives. This approach is called cultural relativism. Moral rules are an expression of a culture and nothing more. There is no set of rules that applies to all cultures. Cultural relativism explains differences in moral codes between different places or countries, but also between different times. It allows for moral improvements to be made. William Graham Sumner was an anthropologist who expressed this view. He called these social moral rules folkways, highlighting the place of tradition in them. Moral relativism is attractive because it explains different values people hold and prohibits people enforcing their values on others. It is a flexible ethical system. However, this means there can be no moral truth, although that does not mean that all moral views are equal. A cultural relativist cannot condemn any practices accepted by a society, because there is no objective measure against which to judge them. It reduces the idea of good to that which is socially approved. Absolutism, on the other hand, gives clear guidelines about right and wrong, allowing for judgment. However, a weakness is that it cannot take into account the situation. It can also seem intolerant of cultural diversity.